into scouting today, and I sort of wanted to do a video on some of the deer that I've passed over the years. Get people's opinions on whether I should have passed them or not. Some I regret myself passing. So I wanted to see what you all think, but now in my defense, with each buck I passed, there's a reason. Generally I'm hunting a bigger deer or something like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show the videos of these deer that I've passed over the year. Some of them I've never shown to anybody besides real close family and friends. And let you all be the decision makers. You let me know what you think. But after I show the videos, I'm going to sort of give the background story of the deer, and because some I've passed multiple times, and sort of give my defense on why I passed these deer, because some are, I hunt southeast Kentucky in the mountains, and some are really good deer for the area, and I can't believe I passed on some myself. So let's start out in I think it's October of 2016. Now this buck that I'm about to show you is one that I actually would still pass today. I believe this deer was only 2-year-old, and he was a 10-point. He had a real tight frame, already had mass, and he had 2 small kickers starting on his G2s. Now, I don't know what happened to this deer, but as you can see in the video, I had a chance at him with a bow, and I didn't take it. And like I said, I would have still passed on this deer, even knowing that he didn't make it, because, or I'm assuming he didn't make it. I never got more pictures of him, because he was a young deer. He had true potential to be a giant. I would say if he made it to 4 or 5, probably bigger than anything I've ever hunted before. So that's the reason I passed this buck, and you let me know sort of what you think. Now we're going to move on to 2017. A buck I passed in 2017. In 2017, I was hunting a buck I called 9-ball, I believe, and I've got a video of that deer on my channel when I killed him. But in 2017, I was hunting him, and there was a deer that was one of his running mates, and he was a nice, real nice 10-point. Had sort of a darker rack, and I actually passed that deer twice in 2017. Once early November, once about mid-November, and he was a really good deer in 2017. And I was bow hunting both times I passed him. And the second time I passed him, he probably stood under me for a good 5 minutes, 19 yards or less. And like I said, given that one back, I would have passed him again because I was hunting a bigger deer. Now, we have pictures of that deer. I believe he was probably 3 when I passed him. We had pictures of him the previous year in 2016. And then he made it to 2018. And his antlers were a lot similar in 2018, just a little bit bigger. And he was harvested. He was a real nice buck in 2018. Now in 2018, had I seen him, I'd probably killed him for sure. But I didn't hunt that property that he was on too much in 2018. I was hunting a different property at that time. So I have pictures and things of him, but I didn't hunt him much. He was harvested that year, and he was a really nice buck. Now we're moving on to 2018. I've got 2 deer I want to talk about in 2018. And the first one I had a counter with in November of 2018. And this deer was nothing special. It had a decent set of antlers, and I believe the deer was probably 2 or 3 at this point in 2018. I had pictures of him in 2017. I just got permission to hunt this property in 2017. And I never hunted 2017, 2018. I hunted it pretty good. And there was a buck that I was after, pretty good 8-point I was after in 2018. And so I seen this buck. It was no problem to pass. I think I had a rifle in my hand at that day, and I passed that deer. So we're going to fast forward a little bit further. Say he was 2 or 3 when I passed him in 2018. Like I said, I had pictures of him in 2017. You could definitely tell the difference. I mean, tell that it was the same deer. In 2020 is when I sort of regret passing that deer. That deer was probably 4 to 5 years old, and he had a tank of a body, and I had pictures of him, quite a bit of pictures. I didn't have a lot of, I only had 2 encounters with him, but I had a lot of history sort of with him because I had so many pictures. I had picked up one of his sheds, and so the video in 2020, you can see he's all under me. I had a bow in my hand, and it was November of 2020, and I could have pulled a shot at him. I don't know if I could hit him, but it was a short, 20, 25 yard shot. Now, this deer was killed actually last year in 2023. And you could tell he was killed about 2 miles from where I hunt, and same antlers. His antlers really didn't hardly grow his entire life. And it was the same antlers. So this deer was probably 7 or 8 years old when he was harvested. And he was harvested by a guy that I don't think he realized how old the deer was, because he gave the antlers and stuff away. And I actually had a chance to hold the antlers, and they're nice. I mean, he's thick antler deer. But probably if I had it to do over, I would probably took a shot at him in 2020. But also in 2020, I was hunting one of the largest deer I'd ever hunted in my life. And so that's one reason I sort of held off. But anytime you have a 5-year-old deer in range with a bow, you probably should take it. That's going to be my motto from now on. I told you there was 2 deer in 2018 that I wanted to talk about. I really sort of want to talk about this one because he's probably my biggest regret. In 2018, this buck was a 10-point, and it was a real pretty 10-point, had about 1.5 or inch kickers off each base, going off each base. Now, I had pictures of the deer previous year, and he was an 8-point. He probably made a 20-inch jump between 17 and 18. Now, fast forward to 2019. I've only hunted probably, and I don't know if it was a Boone and Crockett, but it was close. Closest thing I've ever hunted to a Boone and Crockett. But had this deer survived, he would have been by far the biggest deer probably I ever got a chance to hunt. So in 2019, I passed on him at 23 yards with a bow in November. Now this buck, in 2019, he went from a 10-point, mainframe 10-point with kickers to a mainframe 12-point with the same little kicker points off of his bases, which were about 1 inch and a half, and a split brow, so he was 15 total points. He scored probably about a 140, which would be bigger than anything that I've killed, probably mid 140s, because he had so many antlers. And he was only 3 years old. So that deer would have been a giant. Now I still should have took a shot at him because he was bigger than anything I've ever killed. Scored more probably. But I was after a big 8-point that year, which I wound up killing in November. But that one sort of haunts me because he was bigger. He scored more than the 8-point. The 8-point was a bigger frame deer and older. But this one had the potential to be a world-class deer, and I passed him. And because I knew what he was, I knew how old he was, and he was staying on the property a lot, I thought I had a good chance of letting him grow to the next year, but he got killed in rifle season. So this one's my biggest regret. You let me know what you all think about this one. But I still got a couple more. I'll keep moving along, and now to the year of 2021. That's November 2021. I'm in northern Kentucky. Now this deer I should have shot. Really didn't have nothing to hunt that year. I kept waiting on a giant to show up that never did. But this buck was in northern Kentucky. I was hunting over a river bottom. I watched him cross, him and a doe, jump right in the river and cross the river. And you can see in the video the difference in the body size in the southeast Kentucky deer and the northern Kentucky deer. He is a tank of a deer in the body. And I don't know how old he was. I don't have no history with this deer, but he was definitely a shooter deer, and I should have shot him. I had a chance, had a rifle in the hand. Had a good chance of killing the deer. The deer stopped and looked at me about 40, 45 yards away. I had a good shot at him. I just didn't take it. Like I said, I was waiting on a giant to show up. And this is one sort of I regret. I should have harvested this deer. And because there's often times that there's deer that I haven't killed. I've passed and passed and passed. And I've ate a lot of tags over it, but I want to hunt a true giant. I don't want to just kill any buck. I can kill a doe for meat. I want to hunt a true giant, and that's why I really pass these deer a lot of times. Sometimes it pays off, and sometimes it doesn't. I'm about at the end of my walk, but not really finding a lot of sign like I was hoping to. But we're to also the end of the deer I've passed that I sort of thought about afterwards. This one was 2023. Now this is one of the ones I can say that probably, given the chance, I probably would pass him again. In 2022, he was a 10-point, had a broke off side, but I could tell the side he had was a really nice side. He reminded me a lot of the 15-point from 2019. That's sort of why I wanted to see what he would grow into. He made a big jump between 2022 2023. And I remember hunting, and he actually took the same trail that the 15-point did the morning I passed him in November. Had a bow in my hands, 23-yard shot. Same exact trail. I remember talking to some of my friends, and I said, he's a good deer, but I want to see him on hoof. I had plenty of videos, plenty of pictures, and I'm assuming he got killed. I've never had any pictures or anything since, but he's one that could have been a potential giant. But I'm not taking away from anybody who wants to shoot any deer. It's your tag, it's your deer. I'm just telling you, this is how I've always done things. My first buck, I waited 10 years to kill my first buck, and it was a 130 class deer, and I guess that sort of ruined me. After that, I don't care to hold off because I waited so long on my first buck. But anyway, let me know what you think about the deer that I've passed, which ones you would have passed, which ones I shouldn't have passed. Just be easy on me, because this is my passion.